Thank you for making Saints Central
your black and gold home for the New Orleans Saints.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that?
10, you got to take care of your business. We didn't take care of the business here, and the Falcons is going to go into victory formation. The Saints cannot stop the clock. Falcons will go into victory formation, and they will win the game. So the Carolina Panthers will ultimately get into the playoffs. The Carolina Panthers will win the NFC South because the Saints lose. We get swept by the Falcons. It sucks because, number one, I know we lose to the Falcons, man, this sweeping is the first time it happened since 2005 or something like that. So this doesn't often happen. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So the Falcons, this will be the final kneel down, and that'll be the final for the game. So the Falcons will win 19-17. Too many mistakes, too many errors. But nonetheless, it was a gutted performance by our squad, man. Our defense played lights out. They held Bijan Robinson down. It was just, you can't, in a close game like this, you got to seize your opportunities, and we simply did not do that. So that'll be the final right here, fam. Here. So Falcons win. Falcons sweep the Saints on the season. And, man, listen, let me tell you something. The prospects of the future are bright with the Who Dat Nation. Tyler Shough, 259-yard performance, a touchdown. And, man, listen, like I said, man, it's you never want to lose to the Falcons and get swept by the Falcons. But, man, something tell me this is going to probably be the last time that happened for a while. So, anyway, big ups to y'all, man. Carolina, shout out and congratulations to the Carolina Panthers, man. Shough, yeah, that's right, AKZ. Shough is the offensive rookie of the year. He'll get that clearly. He played his ass off in this game, man. He had the bad pick. I get it. He stared the guy down, but you can see his aggression and getting back out there to want to do it. And it just wasn't a good onside kick performance. And by the way, man, it's still who that, man. It's still who that, man. It's gonna be all right. All right, but anyway, man, listen, it was a phenomenal. This is the regular season finale. The Saints finished the year 6-11. Right, the Falcons go 8-9. The Carolina Panthers move into the playoffs. My advice to the Carolina Panthers family members is show up and show out, man. Don't back into the playoffs and have and get kicked out of the playoffs in the first round, bro. Show up and show out, man. Show up and show out. You got blessed today. Show up and show out in the playoffs, bro. Don't go back there. Don't back into the playoffs and then back out the playoffs. Show up and show out. All right. But anyway, man, shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all being in the stream, man. We're going to hit these. I'm going to bring in Pops Q in a little bit. But let me hit these team statistics, fam, on that. Y'all hit the like button, fam. Still a wonderful season, man. A lot of questions we ask about who's going to lead the team in the future. Those questions have been answered. We know Tyler Shough, without a doubt, will win that Rookie of the Year honor. And even though he had to pick in this game, man, listen, I'm still encouraged about this guy's play. We build the team around him, add more offensive pieces, build more depth. Our defense, we know DeMario and Cam Jordan wants to come back. Chase Young was unbelievable. The defense have nothing to hang their heads on here. The defense, the team, period. With a lot of injuries and a lot of stuff going on wrong, missing a lot, playing with 4th and 5th and 6th and 7th string people, and the Saints still made a game of it. It's still very positive in my book, man. We got a lot to look forward to in the future. Maybe this year, not so much. We let them have it this year, but I'm telling y'all, fam, we're going to be all right moving forward in this thing. We're going to be kicking some tail and knocking some people around in the upcoming season. I promise y'all that. But y'all stay right where y'all at. We're going to have the game where we'll be able to kind of go over it and see what's going on with the matchup. With the post game from Kellen Moore and Tyler Shough, all that stuff. We'll have that like we usually have it after every post game recap. But y'all do me a service, hit the like button, man. We had a phenomenal year. Not so much starting over early on with a lot of the mistakes, but in the end, man, a lot of questions have been answered with our fantastic young quarterback here. And I'm just happy that we got that and we can build forward. So anyway, let's kind of delve in, man, to the post-game rep, and we'll kind of make sense of what happened here on the squad. We'll bring up Pop's in a little bit. But here it is, fam. For the Saints in this game, 16 first downs versus 14 for the Saints. The Saints were 5 of 16 in the third game. Side of it, fourth down, uncanny. They were 3 for 3 on the fourth down situation, 5 of 16 on the third down. The Falcons were 4 of 14 and 1 for 1. Saints had 65 total plays versus 61. Look at the yardage, 340 versus 208. 12 drives by Falcons versus 11 by the Saints. Saints averaged over 5.2 yards per play, threw for 232 versus 159, and held the Falcons to a low score of 49 yards combined off of 25 carries. The Saints got over 108 yards off of 26 rush attempts, 4.2 yard average. The Saints were 2 for 3 in the red zone. Falcons were 1 for 3, 6 penalties for 40 yards, 5 for 42 for the Falcons. Saints had 2 turnovers, which was a fumble that they lost to Juwan Johnson and the interception by Tyler Shough. Time of possession, 319 to 28-40 advantage Saints. So a lot to say that was very positive in the matchup, man, to be honest with you, that we can build forward on. And it's just, one of those situations moving forward. All right, anyway, let's keep it going, man. As you can see, the individual statistics, Tyler Shough was 23 of 35 for 259 yards, 7.4 yards per throw. He was sacked 4 times, had a touchdown and a pick. 85.3 was his rating. Kirk Cousins, 18 of 32 for 180 yards, 5.61 touchdown and a pick. He was sacked 4 times and a rating of less than 70%. Audric Estime got strong, 21 carries for 63 yards. For him in the game, Tyler Shough scrambled 3 times for 34 yards and a score. Evan Hall had 2 for 11, all 3 combined for over 100 yards in running for New Orleans Saints that averaged 4+ yards a carry. Juwan Johnson was 3 of 5 for 61 yards. He averaged almost 20.3 yards per catch. Pettis was 5 for 5. Pettis was 5 for 5 for 60 yards in the game. Audric was 5 for 5 for 43. Kevin Austin was 4 for 9 for 37. Taysom was 3 for 3 for 32. Ronnie Bell was 2 for 4 for 23 yards and a touchdown. Toure was 1 for 3 for 3 yards. You look at the defense. Look at Carl Granderson. Carl Granderson had 10 sacks today. Carl Granderson, 10 sacks, and he had 10 tackles. I wish you would have had 10 sacks. Chase had 10 sacks for the year, but Carl had 10 tackles and a sack and a half. Chase Young had 6 tackles and a sack and a half. DeMario had 6 tackles. Alante, Cam, and Quincy and Jonah Williams had 4 tackles. Cam got another sack on the game as well. So the Saints were doing a wonderful job defensively, man. They held this team, forced this team down. We just needed to score more points, in which we didn't do it. Charlie Smith was 1 for 2. He did miss a field goal that could have counted if counted. The Saints would have won 20-19, but it is what it is. Kai Kroger, 4 punts for 200 yards, 51 yard per average. He put 1 of the 4 inside the 20-yard line. So a lot of positive things to talk about from the Saints. The defense was knocked down, drag out. Offense just did not score enough points. Simple as that. But like I said, a lot of people was missing in this game. We lost Taysom toward the back in the game. You knew that Chris Olave had a blood clot in his lung. He didn't play in the game, so we was really relying on our 4th, 5th, and 6th round wide receivers, Kevin Austin Jr., Dante Pettis, who really had a really solid performance, 5 catches for 60 yards off of 5 targets. He was perfect catching the ball. Ronnie Bell, who came off the practice squad and caught a real easy touchdown. So like I said, you get a guy's opportunity and they'll step up and show off for you, and ultimately that's what it was. Now, as we kind of adjust and go to the scoring drive of what happened for the scores, the first quarter of the game, the Falcons got on the board at the 3:02 mark in the first quarter with a 15-yard touchdown pass from Kirk Cousins on a blown coverage play by Alante Taylor. They scored 2 plays, 5 yards, 16 seconds. Falcons went up 7-0 in the first. Second quarter, the Falcons then at the 10:19 mark in the second, Zane Gonzalez hit a 40-yard field goal on 8 plays, 31 yards, 3 minutes and 54 seconds. They go up 10-0. Saints then respond at the 4:31 mark in the second quarter. Tyler Shough with the 1-yard rush on 10 plays, 65 yards, 5:48 time of possession. Saints get a little closer, 10-7. Third quarter, Falcons at the 8:50 mark Zane Gonzalez, 51 yards out on 6 plays, 41 yards, 213. They go up 13-7 and kind of extend the lead. Then again, the Saints come back at 2:15, marking the third with Charlie Smith, a 29-yard field goal on 14 plays for 56 yards. I thought they were going to score in this drive, 6 minutes, 35 seconds. They did not. The Saints inch closer, 13-10. Falcons in the fourth just kept pushing it out. Zane Gonzalez from 38 yards on 13 plays, 45 yards over 6 minutes. They go 16-10. Off the interception by Tyler Shough, the Falcons take it upfield and at the 2:52 mark kick a 38-yard field goal by Zane Gonzalez to push it out 19-10. The Saints then come back at the minute and 11 mark in the fourth quarter with a 16-yard pass from Tyler Shough to Ronnie Bell to make it 19-17 on a 7-play, 65-yard, $141, and that's where it ended as the Saints fall short, 19-17. They are swept by the Falcons. For this first time in a while, the Falcons have swept the Saints. Falcons aren't going anywhere. Saints lose to the Falcons, and unfortunately, it is what it is. But it kind of, even though it's a sad affair, to be honest with you, it really isn't. It really doesn't hurt that bad. Meaning, in terms of our pride and all this kind of stuff, simply because of the fact that the Saints have solved so many issues. We see how good the defense is. Cam and DeMario is going to come back. That Tyler Shough is only going to improve. They're going to build the offense around him. So it doesn't hurt as much losing to the Falcons, understanding and knowing what you got headed towards you in the upcoming year, does it? So that's what I'm talking about. All right, shout out to Otis. He says special teams cost us block punt and missed field goals. That's true. That's true, bro. Special teams hurt. Special teams hurt us, bro, for real. That is true. All right, shout out to Brent. Says never good losing the Falcons, but we're missing some of our big weapons, and we know what improvements we can make, and we have a winner. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. That is true. Good points. So, indeed, man, y'all are saying some truthful stuff, man, and I agree wholeheartedly with you because that's facts. That is absolutely facts. We with the 5th, 6th, and 7th round wide receivers in the Saints still just barely lost by 2 points to the Falcons in their own building. The Saints shut down the Falcons' offense. Bijan Robinson had less than 50 yards rushing in the entire game. They stopped him. We just couldn't score enough touchdowns. It's the bottom line. So I'm encouraged, even though they got the sweep. Shout out to them. They're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. You're getting the sweep and the lose. I guess you win when you can. But you're not going anywhere. Y'all going to be sitting watching the playoffs with us and the Carolina Panther people, hoping with them backing into the playoffs, they actually do something while they're there and just not get backed out of the playoffs. You got to handle your business. So shout out to our Carolina Panther people. Congratulations to them on that stuff, man, as we move forward. So let's kind of get into it. We're going to bring Pops Q into the building. Pops, are you there, man? How you doing?
Yes, son. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. There you go.
Oh,
what
okay.
You thought? All right, there you go. Hey, Pops, welcome on into the show, man. It was a good one, man. It was a close game. Man, I was having fun in this one. I ain't gonna lie. Shout out to the family, man. We was having real fun in this one, man. But Pops, what do you seeing this game, man? What do you thought about the Saints in this matchup? We get swept by the Falcons, but I'm not feeling all upset like I usually would. And I'm encouraged by the QB play. I'm encouraged by a lot of things. What do you think about the Saints' loss today? What are some high points in this game?
Well, the one was the block punt, first of all, that allowed Atlanta to get so close to where they can score real easily. Their special teams play was not as efficient as it was, and we gave up some that block punt, and then another situation. But other than that, like I say, in Atlanta, I got to give them credit. They was able to take advantage of the miscues, and they was able to score with the ball. And but when we had our opportunities, we had a chance we could do something. That pick six was the killer. Not pick six, but the killer was that interception. That as a matter of fact, I think that's the only interception he threw that Shough threw that day. But it's the one that really hurt us. And, they went back and they scored a field goal from it. Even though They really did shut the defense really did keep Atlanta down. All they could manage was field goals, but it was enough to beat the Saints at 3 field goals, some field goals. But that the wide open touchdown pass to Drake London was also a killer, where these guys got mixed up, in the secondary, and you can't leave a guy like Drake London wide open in the end zone like that. The Saints really did kind of mess that up, But other than that, I think the game was well played. We lost. I mean, they swept us. And I don't really kind of count. I know they lost. I really don't kind of count that first game because the Saints were kind of feeling their way with these quarterbacks, trying to see get who can get established. And so it is what it is. But this is, I'm excited, especially the way they played. The defense really played a hell of a game. It really did. They played a hell of a game. They harassed Kirk Cousins the whole damn time. He's out there, and I love the game. I love watching it, even though they lost. I love watching it. I think we got some get a couple of good pieces, and plus, like you said earlier, we were missing some key pieces to our offense, especially Olave being out. We were really playing with second and third stringers. I mean, we didn't have our top runners in the game. And the kid Estimate did a hell of a job, especially when he was running the game. Though what I couldn't understand was why did they go away from the running game when it was working? I'm just curious about that part. Should have stuck with the running game, and then maybe it wouldn't have put Tyler in the position where he throw that interception.
Yeah, that's a great question, Pops. A lot of people was asking, say, in the comment section, Q, why did they not keep going with the running attack? I think what Coach Kellen Moore was trying to do was set up the play action, or set up the pass off the back of the running play. They just wanted to be able to take the pressure off of them, make the runs, and then get into that. And it could have worked, but it was just, Shough did a very cardinal sin. In most football circles, he stared down the wide receiver. And even the Atlanta Falcon defensive back know how to jump in front of the pass on that. And that's exactly what Dee Alford did, Pops. He just jumped right in front of the play and intercepted it. But the defense still stopped them from doing it. Then the onside kick wasn't performed as well as you like. There was the miss. There was the block punt that set up a touchdown off a blown play. There was the missed field goal by Charlie Smith. He missed one. And then, of course, we kind of had the botched onside kick at the end of the game. So the special teams could have did a lot better in terms of what they did today. But then again, the offense was also, in my opinion, Pops, the offense could have did a lot better than this. I think the first series of the second half, where the Saints got the ball back, they had an opportunity to take possession of the game then, and then they were driving well, and then the last two plays of that particular drive was Tyler holding on to the ball outside of the pocket, getting sacked, and allowing them to get pushed back, and then the next play was a sack. They had to punt the ball. The offense was not the same. And then we later on we weren't able to get there fast enough. That's a part of the game. So, Chris Olave, if Chris Olave plays in this game, you beat the Falcons. You have 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7 string players out there. Taysom Hill left the game late in there. You couldn't rely on him. So the Saints had to use a lot of inexperienced players and still only lost by 2 to the Falcons. So credit to the Falcons getting the W. You're still going to watch the playoffs at home on your couch like we going to do, and we'll get a better draft selection. So you get the sweep. Congratulations to you. You can wave your flag and all this kind of stuff. Shout out to the Carolina Panthers people for moving on as well. You better not back. When you back in the playoffs, you better not back out of the playoffs. That's all I got to say. And outside of that, Pops, is just a lot of credit should be given to the Saints on defense, man. All the phenomenal. What about Chase Young, Pops? What about Chase Young and Carl Granderson? What do you thought about those guys?
Those two big bookends was handling business. I mean, they harassed Cousins all day and got a couple of sacks on him. I mean, they made life miserable for him. They didn't give him time to sit back there in the pocket. Like it happened a couple of times where he sit back there, but I mean, not that often. But when it was on, they got there. They got there, and they kept him contained for the most part of the game. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Defense played enough, played enough to win the game, but just the offense couldn't score enough points to get this win. We had this game throughout most of the first 3 quarters, and we lost it in that last half that when he threw that interception, you know, when Tyler threw that interception. But things like that happen, you know. So we all we can do is just look forward to what they're going to do next year. We didn't have, like I said, we didn't have all our people, our key people, Kamara and Olabi, those guys like that, that could sustain the run game for us. We were going through with basically second stringers, and we almost pulled the win. Without that turnover, we'd have won that game. I honestly believe that we'd have got that touchdown had we not turned it over. But that's part of what the game. That's the way the game goes.
Indeed, Pops, I agree, man. I think the turnover was big. But also a couple other things, too. Black Preacher Man says a little love for the coverage this year, Big Q and Pop. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you very much.
All season long, bro. 10-plus years of the sports coma, man. We in this thing, man. Keeping it real, never compromising. Being strong and progressive and moving forward and handling the business, man. That's what the platform was built on. And thanks to you guys, man. For just all of the continued support and just believing in the efforts, man. And you guys power the sports coma. And like I said, that's the reputation that we developed 10-plus years, man, of keeping it real and telling the truth, man. Brother Will Francis said, proud of the Saints. We had a makeshift offensive line. This is very true. Still gave the Falcons a good fight. Can't wait for next season. Thank you, brother. That's facts.
Thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that, man. That's 1,000% facts. You know, Pops, we mentioned it. You said second stringers. I would say, Pops, Audric Estime is the 4th string. Audric Estime, Evan Hall are 4th and 5th string running backs for the Saints. Elvin Kamara, Kendre Miller, Devin Neal was 1, 2, and 3. Audric Estime is a 4th string running back for the Saints. Evan Hall is a 5th string running back for the Saints. The wide receivers, at the top wide receivers is Chris Olave, Divine Valley. Then who else we had? You could throw in that Mason Tipton, all that. But when you get down to like Kevin Austin Jr., when he got in there, he was 4th string. Then you had the other guys 5th string, 6th string, and still pull up a fight. Here's Coach Kellen Moore with the season finale.
Played some outside there, and we just weren't able to quite get it done. We're close. A bunch of guys took advantage of some opportunities out there, and so overall there's a little bit of reflection in the sense that really proud of this group, the way they've stuck together and battled each and every way all the way down to the very end of this game. And so really proud of this group, and obviously we want to recognize that first and foremost.
What did you see on Tyler's interception?
I think the DB, I saw it really live, and that was it. Did a really good job. He was inside of the slot receiver, and then he kind of bumped out right as the throw was occurring. And so I thought the kid made a phenomenal play.
When you learn about it, just like the way you responded on
Yeah, Tyler's response. I thought he did some really big things. He had a couple of big plays on there. So, the scramble that got Dante the ball, he threw Dante another completion, and then I thought Ronnie making the one-handed catch in the back corner of the end zone. That was a big-time play. At least gave us a chance to go with the onside. Yeah, just relentless effort. The run game, 25 carries for 49 yards. I mean, really special performance by those guys. Took all 11. And then rushing the passer. Rushing the passer. They get 4 sacks in there. I thought our guys just played a really physical brand of football, and it was really awesome to see.
It's also the fewest yards from scrimmage that Bijan Robinson got this season in every single game. Just the job you guys did against him. How would you describe it?
Yeah, I think it's just phenomenal performance of taking all 11. I thought the DBs stepped up in the run game, made some tackles. I thought, D-line was stout. The DNs, the edge rushers, set the edge. Backwards were flowing over the top. And so, took all 11 every single play. And I think credit goes to our guys of executing the plan.
Is coming back to his injury anything like that you're worried about beyond?
No, not long term. He's got an ankle that obviously, he'll just have to navigate. But obviously we're entering the offseason, so he'll be fine.
How much progress have you seen from Tyler from when he first took over now in the season? You never a lot of weapons today. Some guys were missing and things like that. What did you kind of
Yeah, I love what Tyler's done. His development, his growth, his ability to learn from each and every experience. He's put a ton of good football out there. Obviously, we're all going to continue to try and improve and get better collectively as a football team and certainly individually. And so I'm excited for what he'll have for this offseason. I think always having a full offseason is a huge benefit for guys just to kind of, step away for a sec, look at it. You get to watch a ton of film that you get to evaluate and then go from there.
Yeah, guys like Ronnie Bell and Samari Torre, who have been with the team for a long time, big pieces of the offense stage. What you see from them throughout the week?
Yeah, I think it's just credit to those guys of being ready for the opportunity. I thought those guys executed well. Ronnie had the big play, late, and I thought each of them, contributed and made some snaps, caught a couple balls, and so I was really proud of those guys. I was excited to see those guys get out there and have a chance to play, and excited for that.
Talk about the block punt, what you saw in that, and how big of a play was it?
Yeah, huge play in the game, obviously. For them to be able to get that done. I have not seen it, so I don't want to sit up here and judge any component of it. But obviously they executed well and made a big play in the game.
Would you say that's a phase of the game that you haven't been overly pleased with this season?
I think we're always just looking to get better, and so obviously we're going to look at all three phases, continue to evaluate that, put ourselves in good positions. I think off seasons you have a really good opportunity to kind of evaluate yourself, self-evaluate. Find different things that we're going to improve on. And so, certainly that'll be one of those facets.
What goes into sort of making the decision about what style of kick to use in an onside kick situation? Does that vary opponent to opponent based upon what you know about it?
Yeah, I think that's just, Charlie and Phil just working together on the different tools that you have at your disposal. And so, I think a lot of times it's got to be certainly a comfort level from a kicking perspective of executing the kick. And so, Charlie's had a special one. This one didn't quite go there, but those are really hard kicks to execute. The margins are really small. And so Charlie's a really good kicker for those situations when anyone else.
Understanding that it's just the NFL here. Is it difficult to craft a game plan when none of these guys, if you were at receiver, right back, were from the start of the season? And then late additions, all that stuff.
I think it's the journey of what an NFL season usually looks like. You're going to have to navigate stuff. You're going to have to navigate roster opportunities. Again, we can all look back at what the initial 53 was and how it's kind of navigated through the season. That's just what you go through. And so, the most important thing is we keep bringing in the right kind of people, the guys that are really smart, tough, physical football players that we can count on. And so certainly I feel like we were able to do that throughout this season of, onboarding some of these guys in the middle of the season that ended up contributing and playing some snaps late in the season. I have a ton of respect for those guys as far as their willingness and ability to prepare and get ready to go.
This might be a better question for John. You got a little time left. As you said it now, if you were asked, what you think the identity of your team ended up being, how would you maybe define that?
Yeah, I think it's just a smart, fast, physical football team. And I think, we just spent a lot of time talking about the play style in which we wanted to play, the relentless effort, the finish, all those effort plays. And I think those added up as you went. And every little detail matters. We got a lot of stuff we obviously want to clean up. But, I just love the way our guys played and competed each and every game in all three phases.
How would you describe what Tyler was like after the interception? Did you talk to him in that time? How did he process it, handle it, and how much of that, are you looking to help him through that? How did that process go?
Yeah, obviously we were up quick, so obviously it was a quick transition. They had the three plays, and then we were back at it. But he responds really well to these things. Obviously, as well as he can under circumstances. Is he frustrated? Absolutely. There's frustration when turnovers occur, but I thought credit to him, his ability to respond. Put himself in a really good position to be able to get that touchdown, get us at least an opportunity at the end. I think that's just credit to the way he's wired. All good.
Anything else?
All right. Thanks, guys.
We'll have the players in shortly.
All right. Coach Kellen Moore. Shout out to Otis. I agree. If the INT pass was play action, it was not. All right. Thank you. Appreciate you that for Otis. Shout out to you, brother, for as well. And big ups to the rest of the family members. Io, shout out to you. What position in free agency should be first priority? I would say depending on how the board fall, but I would look at improving my offensive line. If you got Tyler Shough, you got to do something about Tyler Shough in the offensive line and helping Tyler be protected back there. That's number one. I think that's, and of course the skill set players will be looking at, like wide receiver, adding some more playmakers there. Getting a running back to replace Alvin Kamara. Devin Neal was a good running back too, but if you find one that sits higher, the point depends on how you board and stack. But I would have to say offensive line, being that you got a quarterback. Thank you, Io, for that, man. Appreciate you. Shout out to William again, man. Much love, says Big Youth. Thank you to you and Pops, the great Saint Think Tank. Thank you, brother, for this platform. I look forward to next season with y'all. Peace. Thank y'all all, man. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
I appreciate that, bro. Thank you all that. And here's Cam Jordan, man. To hear what old Cam saying. He had a sack in his game. Shout out to Cam.
Yeah, thank you. No, you said.
You're hitting double-digit sacks. Like I know the outcome wasn't good today.
Absolutely not. This season I've been saying, give me opportunity. You see what I do with it. It's not the first time I think I've gotten double-digit sacks during Atlanta game. Some years back it happened again, so it's about on time. Just getting back, the revenge situation. I thought I had to sack against the Titans. I was gonna get one off of good old Kirko chains, anyways. Would have loved to got the ball out. Of course, when I go for grab for it, he ducks under. It's fine. They come out with a win. I think we had a couple good chances there. Without making it about me, I'm blessed to be in a position to go after it. I thought I was gonna get another sack off of him. But it is what it is. Man, started off strong, 2-3 series deep before you saw points up on the board. Of course, you'd love to see that momentum swing because if as you gain that momentum in the beginning, it's like, all right, we could really put them under. And we sort of let them hang around, and they fought their way back to a win. I think I've always known I'm willing. I'm more than willing. I think my play says I'm elite. Now, again, I told you I'd defer to Nikki Jordan. See, she's willing to let me do what it takes to be committed to the game because it takes a lot. 4 kids, they're all in sports. She holds it down. I'm not sure how. I do what I'm told when it comes to them, during season. But just overly blessed and honored. So I said, get me through 15. We'll see where it takes us. So defer to her. And then after that, it'll just be if numbers make sense. I know, again, we've been trying to push the young narrative for a couple of years. Chase is a hell of a player because she's got 10 sacks. Carl's a hell of a player. So it just depends on where we go. I think that my play dictates I am who I've always been.
And you seem to have fun this year, right?
I have fun hitting people. Yeah, it's the name of the game. I've never not had fun hitting people. Now, again, it just if you're not feeling appreciated, then sometimes you have to go where you're appreciated. I think that in the end of the days, I've appreciated every moment I've ever had in New Orleans, and I foresee myself playing, I don't know how many more years, but again, this physically wise, I feel like I'm primed for a longer career.
The sack you had today, that looked like old school Cam Jordan. I mean,
we've been saying that all year, man. This sack you had looked like old school, or maybe just who I've always been. Again, back on the edge, good things happen. You make me a nose tackle, I promise you, nothing's good's gonna happen. Shout out to Todd Grantham.
That's pretty cool. Just what would you make the way the team finished this year?
Man, I've said it all year. I don't know how many times I've said how resilient our team is. How tenacious our defense is, how we had a good young group that is growing and accelerating towards growth. It just sucks that, we're out of opportunities. I wish we'd be fully healthy the entire year. I wish we, had started off with, the touchdowns that we had, the scoring possibilities that we've had in the second half of the season and the first half of the season. In terms of defense, I think defense, we started off strong and we've had to get stronger. We eliminated for one of maybe 3 times that first drive Bulls jitters. Let's call it jitters. 3 points, 7 points, leaky points, and then you finish the game strong. We started off strong. I think we finished strong. We figure without the short possibilities, I think we probably let up 9 points today. That's where, if you consider the the block punt, whatever that is, find a way to win is the name of the game. And I think our defense put ourselves in positions to do that more than a few times. Closed out a few times. It's been good.
When this team was like 1-8, you were still like one of the most positive voices
Absolutely.
in the locker room. Was that something with the new coaching staff that you sort of set your mind to, I'm going to beat that guy this year? Was that something you tried to do, or did that just?
That's natural. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had to force anything other than smile last year a few times. But when it comes down to our locker room, I've always said, I was like, I want so much more success for this locker room because we're so close, because guys vibe with each other. Like, it's a great locker room. And this time, 8 months from now, this time next year, hopefully we're in a better position. This time, 8 months from now, the locker room will have to start over. You don't know the interchanging pieces. Cam Jordan's year 15, Demario Davis year 14. You got guys
Cam,
looking for new contracts.
Y'all free
you got
agents,
to pay
brother.
Chris Olave. Wide receiver won money for everything that he does. You got to figure out a way to, make it all shake. And I think, for whatever reason, the locker room won't be the same. But hopefully the core guys, the guys that want to be here will be here. The guys that want to, make a difference will be difference makers for us next year.
Cam, double-digit sacks, year 15. Like, was the only difference the last couple of years the style of defense and the opportunities, and now that's favorable? Or?
If you probably look at it, I do really well in the back third of the season for whatever reason. That's 2 seasons ago. I tore my leg up, so whatever that was the end of pass rushing. So 6 games left, 5 games left, whatever that was in this trash stadium. This wonderful place in Atlanta that it was. Tore was at the perineals and something else in the leg. That's where it ended the possibility of pass rush at 2 sacks. Last year, 4 sacks. I don't know if I saw any sacks in the interior rush. So didn't get back onto the edge rush until the end, and you see what can happen. This year we start off at the edge and we finish at the edge and we're back in double digits. Nobody's surprised. Well, correction, I'm not surprised, but the world can be surprised they want to be.
Would you make it the way, like, what kind of impact did Chase have after he came back?
Man, just the way he attacked. We talking about surgery. So 2 years, next surgery, 2 years ago. Yeah. When he first joined the team, the way he came on and was trying to learn, not just how to play, because he knows how to play, but you learn the mentality of never giving up, right? Last year, you saw something in him click, and you're like, man, like he's got go to him, and he can do it every down. And this year, I think he turned a whole nother level. And he jokes around. He's like, man, I'm getting out the stack. I'm stopping the run, and you can see he starting to get excited. I said, now you've set a standard for yourself, and he's met that standard each game this year. It's like he always just wanted to have a home, and now he's got a home, and he's made it his own. This year he's coming to his own, and he's lived up to every piece of hype that he's ever had around him. He's a hell of a run stopper, hell of a pass rusher. We already knew that. He's turned those pressures into sacks, double digits. You can't take that away from anybody. And you can do a lot of things in this league. You could be a high pressure guy and fizzle out, because if you don't get home, what does it matter? You're just a high pressure guy. Everybody forgets about you. It's sort of like Achilles from Troy. That's why they won't remember your name. If all you are is close, you're never there. And Chase has got double digit sacks for the first time, probably not the last time. The way he goes in, I'm like, dang, he's hitting prime right at the right time. Had we had been a playoff push, there's no scarier edge than Chase Young right now. Cool. You had one more. Go ahead.
Oh, Cam, are you coming back next year?
You and Chase both held up.
I was more excited for Chase. Yeah, I was more excited for Chase than me. I knew I was going to get one. I thought I had 10 last week. So, it was just like a get back. It's like the incentives. I'm just getting back what was already supposed to be coming my way. But no, it's awesome. It's been a while since the Saints have had 2 double-digit sack guys same year. I know capability for sure. I know Trey Henn hit one year, but I think I was shy. So take it back to
Cam and Junior Gillette, perhaps?
Cam Jordan, Chase Young. It's crazy. I had to say that name out loud. It's been a while. Yeah, you guys have a blessed one.
Shout out to Cam, man. Shout out to Cam, man. Shout out to Cam. Thank you, OG. OG to the third degree. Thanks for another year. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you as well.
Thank you very much. Picking
Appreciate
me
you,
up,
bro.
bringing me back to this world.
All right, here's Chase Young, man.
Man, people don't know what I've been through my career, highs and lows. It's all God, man. I remember moments being in the dark place at times and just staying down. People say stay down, but you don't know what it's like to stay down until you got to do it. Just staying down and, just God keeping his hand on me, man. That's all I really can say about that. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And Cam was saying that, you just needed to find a home somewhere, Like, you feel like you found it here and you feel like this is where you kind of find the best version of yourself.
Most definitely, man. I knew I found a home where God put me in a place with two veteran players that could kind of teach me the ways of, just the league. Like I told y'all, when I came in the league, I didn't really have that. When I come on this team, I got Double D, who always setting the standard. I got Cam Jordan. Double D talked about it. He said, greatness. He said you have to have a stamina for greatness. Cam Jordan gets at the building the same time every day. He does the same things every day, and he's done it for 15 years. That's a stamina for greatness. When you got people like that, leading the way, you have to hold yourself to a certain standard because you see it every day. They 35, 36. I'm 26. If they can do it, it's like, what am I doing? So I'm blessed to be up under them two guys for sure.
With both their contracts up this spring, can you imagine playing without them at this point?
Nah, I don't really want to think about that yet. I'm just gonna ride out into the sunset right now with them, and going on a D-line trip. Just enjoy my peoples.
How has the season been for you overall? Not just the success on the field, but just so many of you have talked about how great the locker room has been. And what's it kind of been like for you this year?
Great, man. We talked about it all the time. You look around the locker room, man. It's just I can look at every guy in there and know that we all have love for each other, no matter if it's offense, defense, or special teams. I give my hats off to the coaches, Staley, again, for just setting a standard of that brotherhood, of how we supposed to play. I ain't gonna figure on our D-line today. We was all balling. It was crazy. We feel good about going in the next year. Six, he doing his thing, and he just gonna get more comfortable. We control them what we can control. But yeah.
Chase, is there anything with just like your weekly routine that's changed, seeing how DeMario and Cam operate? Like anything that's kind of like really foundational?
Just staying disciplined. Stamina for greatness. Being disciplined for 15 years, that's hard to do, man. For real, you got to take your hats off to them dudes, man. I know a couple of my big cousins 36, and they can't do nothing. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? You really got to take your hat off to that, man. Cam and Double D, he's still hitting the fastest times out of all the backers. If it wasn't God to put me here, then I don't know who did. So I'm just blessed to be around them guys. I'm legendary guys forever. Especially in my book and everybody in this locker room.
Cam, in the eighth player in NFL history at 36 record double-digit sacks. So and all the other guys are Hall of Famers, like Reggie White, Julius Peppers.
He gold jacket. We that's. But the thing about it though, he was a gold jacket 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So to see him still every day, just a little thing, showing up to every defensive dinner, every D-line dinner, first in meetings, still to this day. I'm glad that I could be around that and be exposed to that for sure.
You sort of said this, but for you, is this situation here and maybe even this season, is this your best situation as a pro? Is this the most comfortable, the best you felt with a situation?
For sure. I want to be the same forever. And I feel like I definitely have found my home. And, you know, you feel the love from this organization. You know what I'm saying? My first year in Washington, I never seen the owner. It was different. You know what I'm saying? I never seen our GM for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, you know, I come here and, you know, they on the field at practice, talking about this, talking about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, just a real family oriented vibe. So I'm definitely happy where I'm at.
And just considering the way y'all close the season, you just feel optimistic for the future here, knowing that stuff changes and everything every year.
I definitely feel optimistic. You know, it's what we the silent tape. Why I feel optimistic because the silent tape, not the big plays and the highlights, but the play in, play out, setting edges, staying in our gaps, and being sound.
Thank you, Chase.
Thanks, Chase.
Shout out to Chase Young, man. All right, here come the Reverend Demario Davis. Here we go.
Greetings, everybody.
He was just talking about how your stamina for greatness has been so inspiring to him, Chase. Like, is there anything about Chase's process and how he's kind of been the last couple of years that stands out to you as far as like his growth and maturity and that?
Oh, elite. I remember when the recruiting process was going on about if we gonna bring Chase Young in or not, and it was just like no question. It was like no question. Just get him here. Just get him here. And it was all these narratives around him about the type of player he was. And I don't really follow people's storyline or really watch a lot of football where people are not in our locker room. But it was just like, I remember when he came out, I knew who he was, knew of him. And when he came in, the first thing I noticed was his hunger for greatness. When you have guys who play at a high level for a long period of time, it's usually one or two responses that other guys in the locker room, they either drawn to him or they just kind of standoffish. And he was somebody that just kind of came to me right away and was just like, man, whatever you got, you know, I want it. You know, however you train in the offseason, I want to know how you train and however you take care of your body, I want to know about it. And that stood out. And it was just like, you know, he got it. He got it. And then we had a lot of conversations just about not just being a great player, but be a great man, be a great leader. It's never days off. It ain't like you just come in and put in work on the football field and then you turn it off when you go on about your life. And that's what we had a lot of conversations around. And I watched him grow as a man. I watched him grow as a human being. I watched him grow as a person. And that was happening before I feel like everybody saw it. This year, everybody, of course, saw it. But even if you watched him, you know, last year, he was already taking those steps. And it really was just a credit to him. He knew what he had to do. He's like, Dee, just hold me accountable. I know what I got to do to change. And he did it. And I think, man, he won all those battles in the dark. And I think that's just a reflection of life, of what's possible, that everybody has those individual battles. And the story will follow your journey. In publicly, what happens will be directly reflective of what happens in the dark. I think the Bible talks about what's done in the dark will one day be shouted from the rooftops. And I think everybody is seeing the type of player that Chase Young is capable of being, but it's because of what he's done in the dark.
Mario, when we talked to you on Friday, you seemed very at peace, optimistic, excited about 2026. What about this season has put you in that headspace and has made you feel so excited about what's next? In regards to the New Orleans Saints, I think there's a lot to be optimistic about for this organization in particular. I think, number one, you have a solidified QB1, and I think there's been a lot of quarterback changes over the last few years. I got a chance to see a lot of them since Nine walked out of the building, and is probably the most excited. You know, everyone inside the organization and outside the organization has been excited about a quarterback.
And that just takes a lot of pressure off of a lot of decision making. When you kind of constantly shuffling that piece, which is the main piece, it becomes hard. And I just think it's a credit to him and the plays that he's consistently showing and making that it's earned that trust. I think when you kind of go into the offseason, you have that, it makes a big difference. I think the quality of guys who are developing on the roster, when you have Alante Taylor, who's played lights out, you have young, consistent safeties, Jonas Sanker, Jordan Howden, Justin Reed brought in. His leadership's been off the charts. When you have Kool-Aid McKinstry, true lockdown corner, taking that next step. When you have dynamic, pass rushers, Carl Granderson, Chase Young, having a 10-sack season and missing 5 games. Brian Brzee, who's constantly being one of the premier interior players. When you have stout run game, starting with your interior defensive line, having Gotcha, Bullard, Ridgeway, Shepard, having guys like that interior, everybody knows I talk about like our my linebacker tree, but this linebacker room is probably one of the best ones I've been a part of. And that is not taken away from the guys. We just played against one of them, Caden Ellis, not taken away from Zach Bond, another all-pro season. Not taken away from Alex Anzalone, not taken away from all those guys who I've had a chance to play with and that were in this locker room. But, I mean, when you look at Pete Werner, Danny Stutzman, Isaiah Stahlberg, Jalen Ford, you got in the game the other day, I think he played like 5 snaps and had 3 tackles. It's like when you look at these guys, and don't forget, like, Nephi Soul, who's on the practice squad, was playing meaningful minutes before he got hurt. And so he's still that same guy. So, man, when I talk about like the room, and so when you have a quality group of young guys like that's building and growing, I think offensively, you have a young offensive line. You had Chris Olave, really show that he's a true number 1 receiver this year, going out and balling. Juwan Johnson playing like one of the top tight ends in the league. I think there's a lot to be excited about as far as heading into the offseason with a lot of momentum, because what you have is no longer potential, but you have guys who are answering the call and becoming who they were projected to be. And when you get that, you don't always get that, and you have all that happen at one time. It's a good thing.
Do you want to be part of that next season?
Do I want to be part of that? Man, I don't even think I have to speak about my love for the city and the organization, this organization in particular, because of what I feel about the owner, Miss B. I think she's the greatest owner in sports.
There are too many.
And so playing for her is, is huge. I love the coaches that have been brought in and the coaches that have been established. I think very highly of Kellen Moore. The way he runs the team is, I said it again, that's how I would run a team. Coach Staley, as a defensive coordinator, has really, even in year 14, taken my game to another level. I think the player that I've been able to be this year is directly connected to, having him come in. And I've learned a lot, playing for him. And Coach Sermon, I think, being a former player as a linebacker coach has really helped, because he can speak to me as a player who played the game for a long time in the same position. And so that's allowed me to grow as a player. So I think I don't have to speak about like what this organization means to me, but at the same time, I don't have so much say-so in where my journey goes. As a servant of the man above, I go where I'm sent. And I certainly don't close a book before it's supposed to be closed. But when new chapters happen, I have to be open to go. And so, I love it here, but at the same time, I never can project what's going to happen next.
Did your production this season fuel you to say, you know what, I want to keep doing this?
Well, that was a goal for me. So I think I made a statement about how much longer I wanted to play. And, you can have these goals. But I also said another goal was I gotta have a PR in some department. I have to have a personal best in some department, which is an indicator to me that I'm still doing it at a high level. So whether that's tackles, tackle for losses, pass breakups, forced fumbles, whatever. And I got off really hot with tackle for losses and forced fumbles. So I was like, oh, well, it's probably going to be one of those. I didn't think it was going to be the tackles, but they just kept racking up. And, so I think, coming into the game, I already had, surpassed, what my previous high was. And that's just a good indicator for me that I can still do it at a high level, that my body is still producing at the level. I don't want to be somebody that just sticks around and hangs on. Like, if I can't, my mind is wired just towards being the best. If I can't feel like I'm one of the best doing it or doing it at my best, then, it's other things that I could be doing with my time. And so that's a big part of it. And I think that was a huge part of it. But also there's an internal sense that kind of goes on with that the mission is ultimately not finished. It's like, I'm going to be in this game as long as God has me here doing what he has me doing, because I don't think it's just about football. It's about using the platform the right way. It's about how you impact people. It's about how you show up, and that matters. And I certainly don't want to cut it short before my time is finished.
You've heard that phrase silence quite a few times this year. Like, just why is that so impactful to you guys, like, in terms of the culture and everything that's built?
Because that's what matters. I think there's a lot of narratives that can get tossed around and things to be said, but at the end of the day, what really matters is when you turn on the tape. Like, when I'm studying another team, it doesn't matter what the narrative about, what they're saying on, different networks. What really matters is what they're putting on tape, because that's the tendencies. That's what we have to play. That's what we have to respond to. And, what do guys see when they turn on the tape, and I think that's really what speaks. It's not, it's not talk. It's not lip service. It's what are you actually doing? And there's no greater indicator of what you're doing than the silent tape. Put the tape on. And what does it say?
Cam's always maintained that he's always been who he is, but to see him at age 36, 10.5 sacks this year, just make it this season.
It's unreal. Cam Jordan is the greatest defensive player that I've had the opportunity to play with. And I played with some really good ones. Played with Darrell Revis, played with Antonio Cromartie, I played with Ed Reed. I played with guys who were the best at their position. And when you look at Cam Jordan's body of work in year 15, going for close to a double-digit sack season, and he's just always doing it. But I think the way he plays the run too, he's not just one of those guys that's just out there just rushing the passer. He's constantly being a force in the run game, and he's just consistent. He doesn't miss games. He's out there. And I think it's a credit to him. Even I think this year is probably even more impressive because he's having a higher level of production with less snaps. It's not like he's out there, playing the amount of snaps that he once played, and he's still having that production. It's unbelievable. I'm a huge admirer of it. And I just think it goes into his process. Like when I watch Cam in the off season and during the season, he's doing the same thing all the time. Like, after games, you can catch him out. He'll probably be out there, even though the season's over, he'll probably be out there tomorrow jogging laps. That's just who he is. And it speaks. He takes care of his body the right way. And I think he has that old school mentality of, being durable and being available. And when the game is on, I just think he's just a hard person to deal with one-on-one. And I think this organization is blessed to have him. Like he's surpassed a Hall of Famer who's the greatest defensive player in history in this organization. He surpassed those numbers. And he's still going. And it's just, I think sometimes it's hard to give people their flowers while they're still doing it because you don't know what level of greatness. But for me to be around it is just something that is it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing it's like, man, this dude is the greatest player that defensive player I've ever played with, and he's on my team, you know. And so it's unreal, you know, that it's happening in real time. I think it just, you know, hats off to him and all that he's accomplished.
We have time for one more with Mario, if there are any.
Hey, y'all be blessed.
Thanks, Mario.
Shout out to DeMario, man. Here come the Shuckinator. Tyler Shough. Shout out to the DeMario.
Like 7 or 8 minutes here. I'll turn it over to Ross to go ahead and ask another question.
Just with this game as it was, and the result wasn't what you wanted, what do you feel like you built, closing out the season?
Yeah, I think it just shows the resiliency of the team more than anything, kind of the ability to bond together through where a lot of teams may quit when the end result isn't exactly what you want. But we've just had fun building that stuff together. And with new faces, people coming and going, we've kind of really just shared that. And it's been a lot of fun. So tough way to finish and with the outcome, but all day, all game, people stepping up, making plays, and came down to the wire.
What was it like knowing that like the NFC South was going to be on the line for Carolina and Tampa? And did you hear the Tampa in the huddle yesterday, like you said, like go Tyler Shough?
Yeah, I mean, you want to go win because it's the Falcons, and obviously it's a unique outcome with the game. So, you know, obviously our mindset was to go out there and win, and it's tough at the end of the day. But I think it's just lots of stuff that we can look back on and really build off of, which was encouraging.
What happened to you about the performance of the first half and then the adjustments or whatever it was that you guys made to kind of get things going a little bit more in the second half?
Yeah, it was just the penalties. You know, we're going backwards on first and second down, and you can't do that. And we just had to be more dialed and just be sharper with the communication cadences. So it's hard when you're going backwards that way. We were seeing everything fine. We're operating really well. So we knew it was going to continue to pop. And obviously, we're able to make some progress there. And we got to find that way to put in the end zone and finish it, on that last drive and on that pick.
What happened on the interception?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was just an unbelievable play by 20. Alford knew exactly what they were doing in quarters. You know, we ran double slants. You know, we've been running all game, and he's buzzed out to the flat. He was matching it, and he was just a really great play by him through the quarterback's eyes, seeing him relate to number 2 and then fall off to number 1 late there. So just a great job by him. And I just got to see that. You know, obviously I'm throwing it with him matching it and just kind of reset and go back from there. But credit to their defense, credit to him. Great play in that crucial moment. So just really good things to learn from kind of going forward. And, we'll kind of figure out ways to short up. But ultimately on me, they got to pull that back, find a running lane and step up there.
How about many of those? Do you feel like you're good at flushing that and moving on?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it was just a great play. I mean, I'm throwing it there 100%. You're relating there. The ball's already out, and he falls off last second. So there's nothing, just analytical-wise, there's nothing more to it than that. That's just football, really. It just sucks. But, yeah, great play. And for me, it was just operating. We were going to get another chance and just go score, and came down the wire.
What's it say about this team, right? Like you come right back, you score on the next drive.
Mm-hmm.
By the end of the game, it's down to just 2 starters left, and everybody else is just out there battling. Just to go through that, maybe you don't get the result you want, but like, what does the team learn about itself on a day like that?
Yeah, it learns a bunch. I think just that was my mindset. It was just like, screw it, let's go play, man. This is why you play football. Like, who cares what the outcome, what the people are saying? Like, we got stuff to put on tape. Obviously we want to go freaking win. And that was the most fun I've had throughout this whole week, communicating with guys, in throughout the game. There's just so many limited reps with Samori and Ronnie and Kevin and DP. Obviously had built up a little bit more repertoire with those guys, but just an unbelievable job by everybody stepping up. Audric, people coming on the O-line banged up. So against that defense here, I think it was, credit to them because they're a really good team, but credit to our guys for showing up and battling. We're getting shocked tonight. We're getting shocked tonight. Yeah, I had like 40 people send me that. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the nature of the NFL, and there's no excuse for it, but was just kind of proud of how they kind of stepped up with minimal reps, learning a lot of new plays throughout the week, learning new responses. But yeah, there's a body language element to it. There's certain things that you can't replicate. Obviously, when you build that time with Olave, and I think Juwan did a really good job showing up as well. So it was, like I said, just that's why you play football. Everybody did a good job, and I think it's a lot of stuff to build off this offseason and really kind of have that bad taste in your mouth to build forward for next year. No, that was not on my bingo card for sure. That was unbelievable catch by him. Came up really big there. He's just a dynamic player, and it was just a great play to finish that drive.
Were you saying this end this season feeling optimistic? You're heading into the offseason.
Yeah, I think just the way we kind of grinded and finished, build that closeness together with a lot of guys, veteran guys, there's a lot of change that's going to happen, but I think the core of what we showed is really encouraging. And it also kind of leaves that bad taste in our mouth losing to where, we got a lot of stuff to put in, and it's encouraging because I know I'm going to give everything I have this offseason to make sure we're in the playoffs and we're fighting for a Super Bowl next year. And I got to continue to get better and learn and make sure we're doing everything we can.
Were you able to tell that Ronnie caught it with one hand, or did you have to see a replay over there?
I saw the back of the end zone. I think 11 hit me in the face or something, so I didn't really get to see it. And then, but away games are always fun because when it's quiet, then something good happened. And my mindset was we're going to get an opportunity. So it was a great play, but it was just kind of let's keep going, next play mentality.
On that touchdown, on your touchdown run, it's you and Jalen Walker.
Mm-hmm.
When you take off, are you confident you can beat them to the final?
For sure. I feel like in those scenarios, using my legs, I'm always going to be confident. The coaches on the sideline were joking me afterwards. I think that was like 98, one of the bigger guys, and it wasn't that you weren't that fast, but I was like, man, screw you. I knew it was him, and I trained with him in Dallas, and I remember watching him train for his 40. And it was pretty scary because he can roll, and they got a great defense, they got a great front, so it was just kind of a great battle, like I said, with the whole offense, the whole line, everybody stepping up.
Was that one designed to be a keeper run, or did you have the option?
No, it was a throw. It was just a boot with the guy banging the flat. You got the over, so just kind of got washed down, and then at that point, you just go try and go get it.
Tyler, that throw where you went to the left, there's two defenders coming, you lay the ball over for the first down, Can you even practice something like that, or is that just all?
Yeah. You practice throwing on the move, but those scenarios, it's just you're just trying to make a play. Fourth down. It was just a good catch by Juwan, and you just got to do everything you can to go get it.
Did you see the OPI call in the end zone? Did you get a read on that at all?
No, it's tough. I think we weren't trying to pick anybody; they just all ran into each other, so it's just kind of happenstance. Tough call, obviously. Great play by Kevin getting open. Game changer for sure. But I haven't got to watch it yet. But I know that it's just kind of football play. Everybody ran into each other, wasn't trying to rub anybody.
Did you get hurt on that call that I think it looks like a fourth call out, but they said it was like that?
No, it was just an awkward landing, but nothing too crazy, I don't think. So, that's on me. I got to throw the ball away though. They're back. You take a crucial, just negative play yardage sack there, trying to make a play and thought I could, get off it. But at that point, just throw it away, be better in 30 manageable. So good to learn from for me. And, that was on me. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tyler.
Shout out to Tyler.
That'll do it for Tyler Shough's.
I was like, it's pretty. We got to release it on Apple Music or something.
Shout out to Shough, man.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
He did a good job, man.
I really don't see it, and then people send me to it, and then people come in the locker room and like, dude, have you seen this? And I was like, yeah, it's pretty good, but
that's Tyler Shough, man. But he talking about his thing,
keep
but
coming.
I think what we seen from Tyler Shough, man, this season is definitely the future. of what he's going to bring for the Saints, man. So
we getting shocked tonight. We're getting shocked tonight. Yeah, I had like 40 people send me that, and they're like, something's wrong.
All right. So that much love on that. But Pops, listen, man, the Saints, I see the Falcon people celebrating, and they celebrating happy. You know, they sweep the Saints, but they got to sit at home and watch the game. But I understand, man. When you beat a team that's been kicking your teeth in, it you kind of feel pretty good about that thing. So, what do you think about some of these? What you heard from the players, Pops? I know we had quite a few of them. What do you thought about their players? And also some of the family members that's out there, please feel free. There's a poll in the chat. Should the Saints bring Cam Jordan back and Demario Davis? Yes or no right now. 84% versus 16% of people saying yes, bring them back, Demario and Cam. Pops, what do you thought about some of the word from the players today?
Well, they sound encouraged. They lost the game. I mean, nobody's feeling sorry for themselves. They talk about the quality of the play, and they really have been in the last 4 or 5 games. They really have played quality football, and it's not the defense that made a lot of these mistakes. It's the offense has to get its act together so they can score some touchdowns when they get the ball down in the red zone. That's been a problem they've been having all season. Getting in the red zone and can't make execute the plays. So if we can continue to get somebody that can help execute these plays, I think, man, we got something going here. And then plus, like I said earlier, we have a lot of our key players are out. You know, we got 2 or 3 of our best wide receivers are out, and then you got Kamara out, and you got a couple other key pieces out. So they barely beat the Saints, but they beat more like second stringers. You know, guys who played in a second in a support role. So you know, I'd say some of them sweeping the Saints, but they're sitting on the couch. They're on the comfy couch with us. So that's doing good.
Yeah, when you win, I get it. You know, with some of these people, when they actually win a game, they feel pretty good about the accomplishment of getting the W and finish the season a 4-game winning streak. A lot of the Falcon people want the Raheem Morris to be gone. But perhaps with this winning streak, they get more Raheem Morris to stick around. I think Raheem Morris is good for Saint football. I really think he is. I mean, they won. Ultimately, it's going to be a benefactor to us. OG says, thank you, bro. Said, Dirty Birds fan just told me that I may need emotional support animal, a falcon, shaking my head, shaking my head, shaking my head. Thank you, bro. A falcon for an emotional support. Yes, indeed. All right. Thank you, OG, to the 3rd degree. Yeah, man, it's very interesting, Pops. But like I said, I think Tyler Shough has did more than that. He's galvanized the Who That Nation. A lot of people are looking for leadership at the QB position, but not only that, going into the upcoming season, he's the unmitigated leader of the team. His temperament, how he's making plays on the field, he will improve and get better going into the season. I just think it's a phenomenal thing because the Saints, not only did they find their franchise signal caller, but they also have a reason of how to build around them. They also have an identity now. Yep. So having that, and of course knowing where to build, Saints need to focus on getting together that offensive line, building up that. Of course, they'll add talent, and they have all the draft picks in the world to do it. They had a draft class that was very impactful this season. We'll get guys like Vernon Brockton back, Devon Valley, the pick that was Jalen Polk. Those guys will be there as well. So the Saints have a ton of talent on the team, and of course you have guys like Demario Davis and Cam Jordan that want to return for what they believe could be a good year in which the Saints finally get back into playoff contention. You know, we'll see. You know, like you said, though, Pops, the Falcons happy that they beat the Saint team playing with their 4th, 5th, 6th string wide receiver, their 4th, 5th string running backs, and the Saints they barely beat the team by 2 points. So it's a very cloudy win, but a win nonetheless, and I congratulate the Falcons for sweeping the Saints on the season. Hey, man, but, you know, enjoy it while you can because you damn sure ain't going to be experiencing this for another decade. Let's just keep it on the real. Go ahead, Pops. What you think?
Well, I agree with you because Look, once the season starts and we get all our pieces in place, this will be a dangerous team. This New Orleans Saints team is going to be dangerous once they get all the players back in. You know, all of the players, the injured players, and plus bring in a couple of draft choices. But we still had some penalties where we hurt ourselves. Guys, jumping offside. I mean, not jumping offside, but movement. False starts. We got to get that. But we had at least 3 false starts on one drive that moved us back 15 yards. Because guys jumping up, and they're not. What's the problem? They can't hold their water long enough to get the snap count through, and then they get called. We have to stop this beating ourselves, but we help the Saints beat us in a way, So we can eliminate those damn penalties. I think we're really gonna be a dangerous team. Especially, I like how quickly Shough is getting that ball out. I mean, it's like, wow, it was gone. Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of defenses don't react that fast. So it kind of reminds me of the way Breeze played when he was in his prime. 1, 2, 3, ball is gone. And this is the kind of play that you have to develop if you're going to be in this thing and keep these defenses off balance. Yeah, so I'm thinking that we could once they get under the coach, Tyler gets under the coaching staff wing, and they start teaching him how to the fundamentals of being a professional, and he also like he's picking it up very, very quick. Saints could very possibly be a dangerous team coming up next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Pops, we got the draft. We have free agency. The Saints will have, I think it's like $18 million in the red, depending on how things look for the upcoming season. But they'll have the draft capital. They'll have the money to be able to, once they renegotiate several contracts, they'll have the north of $20-something odd million to be able to make moves in free agency. If that's the thing, the mindset is to. They want to build through the draft, which they had a very good draft this year. Can they then build upon the draft for the upcoming season? Understanding, knowing that you have a quarterback here that you have to protect, that'll be key for the Saints moving forward in building the offensive line, the defensive line, adding skilled players at the wide receiver and running back level, and continue to add help in the defensive and linebacker, an edge rusher, all this kind of stuff. However they fall in the draft, man, we are be interesting going forward. But overall, thought process on the season, Pops. How do you kind of? I know you just said what you said about the high prospects about the future with Shough, but I think a lot of it's because of Shough. What would your grade be with Kellen Moore's play calling and his leadership for what you've seen? He struggled early on, but what are your thought processes? How would you grade Kellen Moore over the back end, overall over the season? How did you grade his performance as a head coach?
Well, I give him a C+. And like I said, and that's only because they had so many losses until they got Shough in there. Some quarterback that seemed to understand what Moore wants. Once Shough caught on what Moore wants, then all of a sudden they picked up. I give him a C+. I think he's going to be a good coach for us. We just got to make sure. And then the defensive coordinator, excellent. He had really got this team playing. I mean, they play sound fundamental football. Teams are not scoring big points against them. They're just not doing it. And then that's because of coaching. And we've got some great coaches. I think I'll give them a C+. And I'm looking forward to even giving them a B once this next season get to rolling around, because I think they're smart enough to have the pieces ready by the time the season starts. They'll have everybody in place who they're going to need, and then they'll be able to take off. It won't be a long trying to train another quarterback like they did. They got the quarterback they need right now.
Yeah, that's true, Pops. I think Kellen Moore started the season. He's a rookie head coach. You can see kind of got a little bit more serious as the season get on. It took him a while to be able to pivot and figure out what plays work for his offense. Like even in this game, what everybody mentioned, makeshift offensive line, fourth, fifth, sixth string wide receivers, fourth, fifth string running backs. third, fourth, fifth string offensive linemen. It just got bare bones toward the back end, but still in all, still competitive enough to almost win games. So 5-4 is what Tyler Shough finished the season on as a rookie. Very respectable numbers. I think that puts him ahead in the QB race. What do you think about Tyler Shough, a rookie of the year? Do you think he gets that? Pops, what's your thought on that?
For that 5-game winning streak, and he almost got this game. I'm quite sure that, and then I think, he's obviously a candidate for it. I love to see him get it, just because of the fact when they put him in there, once he got going, he showed his understanding of the fundamentals of NFL football, and real strength of the Saints to 5 wins. So at least 4 straight and almost 5 straight. So the man learning the game. The man is learning how to play the game. I mean, he made a couple of mistakes. He made a mistake today with them when he tossed that interception, but he's learning how. Once he gets settled, his offense gets settled, he'll know where to go with the ball. He gets the ball out very quick, and he throws a good tight football. He don't throw lame ducks unless he gets a hit on the arm or something. But most of his passes are very almost frozen ropes, they call them back in the day with the guy. And then he got good touch on the ball too, because if he connected up with that guy that had Atlanta defensive back beat, the tight end had him beat back there. He just couldn't get him the football, So that would have been that touchdown would have got us the win over them, because defense had shut the Falcons down. They were shut down. Whoop, closed off.
Yeah,
they couldn't run with Bijan, and I'm telling you, that was a big deal to stop Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson's a beast, and they shut him down pretty good. They didn't give him. They took away those long runs that he's so familiar with and easy making. They shut that down. They shut down his wide. I think he caught one pass from Keith Cousins, but other than that, they pretty much shut the door on him. And also on Atlanta's running game was shut down. So if we're gonna see Bijan again, but if the Saints defense is lining up the way I see it gonna line up, it's gonna be the shoe is gonna turn on the other foot when we play them next year. And then like I said, we just got to put together the right offensive line and the right bring some more defensive players in here to help out. He went 5-4 as a winning quarterback. Black Preacher Man said it right. Now he came in here and said, "Let me right the ship." He has righted the ship. Now we just got to keep him there and surround him with players that can help him. Now once them come back, those other wide pieces that he had, wide receiver pieces, we probably have to see about getting us another speed guy. Somebody that he can throw the ball to. See what I'm saying? We get somebody like that, I think we'll be in a much better shape. I'm looking forward to this. The next season.
Yeah, it's definitely encouraging, man. Even after the loss, man, it was I didn't feel any disappointment about how the Saints play. Understood the situation that we were walking into with so many players, some of our key talent missing. If Chris Olave plays, Saints smoke this team. Yeah. But shout out to Black Preacher Man saying Tyler was winning. QB went 5-4. When the last time we seen a rookie in New Orleans go 5-4 as a quarterback? That is special. Thank you, Black Preacher Man.
Thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
And then they beat some. They beat some of our division foes. They swept Carolina. Then he come back and beat Tampa Bay, split with them. So they won 3 in the out of in the division. They were 3-3. So that's good. That's good stuff for me. That's good stuff for us to look forward to.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to succeed this new season coming in.
Yeah, I agree, Pop. That's the I was like, man, listen, I'm just I don't remember as a time been doing this for a while where I was so cool with the fact that the Falcons swept the Saints this year, because you understand the circumstances that the team was dealing with.
Right.
If we had manpower like they did, of course we would have smashed these people down. I mean, they were missing Penix, the only guy that was missing, but Bijan Robinson, the Saints defense stopped Bijan Robinson. He had 15 carries for 33 yards. He had let me say it again. 15 carries for 33 yards. He averaged 2.2 yards per rush. No touchdowns, no nothing. That's what Bijan Robinson did. And then they try to hit you with Tyler Algieri to change pace. He did worse. 7 carries for 16 yards for 2.3 yards. And the Saints gave that boy a wedgie. He wasn't even the same the whole damn game. Ripped all the pay off the underwear from off his ass. Had him wedge. He was out there walking funny and all this kind of stuff. He wouldn't leave the field. Probably like, well, somebody take this dude somewhere. You put a pair of Pampers on his ass or something. Just get on the out of here. He tore his drawers.
He pulled his drawers off right there on the field and dropped them right there.
He tore that man drawers off his ass.
That's the first time in history I ever seen that.
Hey, never seen nothing like that, Pop. I ain't never seen somebody tear somebody's drawers off their ass.
I'm sure the people cracking up with that shit. He just took his drawers off, put them over there, and throw them over. I think
it was funny. It was funny, Pops. He was still trying to run the ball and walking funny, man. I was like, they tore the drawers off the man's ass and give him a what you call it, a wedgie.
That's not good. You get a wedgie. He ain't lying.
Oh man, that's too funny. All right, yeah, they can have it, man. We'll be back next year to smack on them, man.
The defense made a good play for them. I think Tyler he might have underthrew the football, but he's got to get more recognizant of when to throw and watch for the defensive back that reads eyes. They teach the defensive guys to read eyes, right. And that guy read Tyler's eyes, knew where he was going, and he jumped the route. You know? Yeah,
he said that. And he talked about that, Pop. See, the thing is, it's different when you got a guy who could tell the truth about his play as opposed to a guy sit up there and make excuses like this other clown we gave $100 million to before he retired. See, he would lie about stuff and not take accountability for it. Tyler Shough said that when the guy dropped the route, he said he followed my eyes. He followed my eyes to the ball because he knows that's not what you're supposed to. You're not supposed to stare nobody down in the NFL. Right. That'll lead to bad circumstances. He understood that. And he said it on the presser. He also mentioned a few other things, like when he took the sack, he said, I just got to learn, man. I gotta throw the ball away.
Yeah.
You know, he said those things. So these are two.
Bounds. You know, that's the biggest thing that an experienced quarterback will do. If he's got time and nobody's open, the ball's going out of bounds. At least you'll hold your position where you left off. But if you take a sack, you're gonna lose yardage 9 times out of 10. You know.
Right.
So
I
mean,
like
Bijan looked like he was frustrated the whole day. I mean, when they knew they were gonna feed Bijan, they were gonna feed him Bijan, but they stepped up and plugged the running lanes. So it kept Bijan to a very minimum yardage.
33 yards, Pops. And the contrast that if I was to tell each one of the family members in the stream, y'all hit the like button, by the way, that Audric Estime at the end of the game would have outrushed Bijan Robinson 63 yards to 33 yards. Y'all would have said, hey, man, the Saints going to win that game. But that's exactly what happened in terms of them outrushing. Now, the Falcons got it, but Audric Estime had 21 carries for 63 yards.
That was
Bijan Robinson had 15 for 33. The Saints, listen, that's not an easy feat. The Saints defense stopped this man. They ain't slow him down. They stopped him. 33 yards from this guy, and this guy is seen as one of the top running backs. I think he was 4th in the NFL coming into this game in terms of rushing yards, and the Saints just held him to 33 yards, and ain't a damn thing was wrong with him from a health perspective.
Right. I mean, it's like, wow, what's up with that? I mean, you know,
that same defense, Pop.
But they closed the running lane. See what's been happening in Bijan's previous game. He was able to hit the hole real quick because the lanes were there. The running lanes were there for him because he hits that hole, and there's nobody to stop him. He's going to take off on you. But the Saints plugged the interior of that defensive line, that offensive line. It kept him from making those long runs. I mean, he made some short gains, but he normally would take off with a big run, and the Saints shut that down. And that's a smackdown on them right there. And they barely beat the Saints, to be honest with you. Wasn't for that turnover. they would have lost that game. They would have.
Yeah, also, Pops, the weapons that Atlanta had, they had everybody except for Penix. Kirk Cousins, I've been out playing Penix over the last 5-6 games in terms of him throwing the ball, not making too many mistakes. But they had access to Drake London. They had access to Kyle Pitts and Darnell Mooney. They had all of their top people.
So they had all their top weapons, and they
still
barely
couldn't
got
do
the game.
Barely got the game.
Yep.
So, I mean, Raheem Morris is going to be celebrating because a win keeps his job secure. He finished the season with 4 straight wins. It's hard to fire a man based on that. So he's good with that. But at the end of the day, the long and short of it is the Saints, even though we lost today, we actually won here because this pivots the Saints. Like, we get a better draft position. They win to fall back a spot or so behind us, and you still sitting on the couch along with us. So we still improve. We get a better draft selection because of it. And in the end, we can use this stuff to build our offensive line, to add skill set players, and the sky's the limit. All right, Brent says, can't get over the ref's flag and taking back our touchdown. Have Brother Gregory to talk to him. Thank you, Brent. Shout out to you.
Thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this
The problem is you trying to talk with your shit, you don't know nothing, instead of listening. Huh?
I'm listening.
Okay? No. I get $40,000 and I dare motherfucker to You ain't lying.
All right, so big to Brent. Thank you, Brent, for that, my man. Pops, what you think about the refereeing in the game? Elvin Gentry's brother was up there. What you thought about this one here?
Every time Elvin Gentry's brother officiate that game, either the Saints or the Falcons get hurt one way or the other. If there was no foul evident on that touchdown run or that touchdown pass, those guys are bumping into each other all the time. So why call a silly a play like that, a silly foul like that? They bumping into each other all the time. You know, I mean, it just wasn't a sound call at all. You know, I mean, there was nobody around. You know, I just don't get it. I don't understand it.
But the crazy part is, Pops, if you watched, they had a behind the scenes, they had the camera angle from the backside in the end zone. And when Kevin Austin Jr. caught the touchdown and secured the flag came out, the rub play happened, with them just running into each other was seconds before that. But the flag didn't happen until after the referee seen that the guy caught the ball, then he threw the flag. I've seen this happen more than a handful of times, that the referee will wait to the outcome of the play to then throw the flag to take the play away. And I've seen that when we played the Titans 4 years ago. There was a play that happened where the ball was thrown into the end zone and the referee watched, I think it was, what was it? I think it was an interception play or something like that, where the player hit the Titans quarterback. Y'all probably remember this one, and knocked the guy down, no flag. But when the ball went toward the end zone and the Saints player picked the ball off in the end zone, then the flag came out after he seen how the play worked. And when they do stuff like that, that's manipulation of the game. Because if you see a foul on the play, drop the flag as fast as you can. If you've seen it, you don't wait to the outcome of the play, then throw the flag. When you're doing that, that's manipulating refereeing tactics right there. That's why people get on them and stay on them like I do. So, I mean, in the end, I didn't like the call, but I thought that we can play past it, and us being as inept offensively as we were, we played into the hands of the game. Because when you allow yourself to be within that time frame, that small amount of pointage, 3 to 7 points, the referees can play in that space. So we have to kind of extend the game out. And I thought that if we didn't take advantage of when we started the second half with the ball, because we scored at the back end of the first half of the game, then we get the ball at the start of the first half of the game, and then the second half of the first drive of the second half of the game, we should have scored on that drive. If we score on that drive, we take possession of the game for the rest of the game. We didn't do that. We had stupidness happen, and then we had found ourselves playing around, and then toward the end of the game, you let the clock run out. Got to change the game. So you heard Tyler Shough talk about that. And we just have to improve upon our depth and just keep going and playing beyond the referees like we always been doing, historically speaking.
Right.
But yeah, Pops, that's that take on it.
Well, I mean, he's right. I like the idea that he realized he threw that interception. He's got to remember, like, okay, I don't see nothing. I'm not taking the sack. I'm gonna throw the ball away. Throw it out of bounds. That's all you gotta do. Throw it out of bounds.
Yeah, it's
Cousin done it. Cousin did it a couple of times. They had heat on him. He threw the ball out of bounds. He got sacked up, but he's smart enough to not get sacked up too much. So he threw the ball out of bounds. But that means his position of play didn't suffer because he didn't turn the ball over.
Right. He had the pick that Granderson gave him, but the thing is he got sacked multiple times in the game. But
Right.
Kirk Cousins was smart enough that when he seen the screen breakdown to throw the ball at the feet of Chase Young coming in there. When he seen when blitz was happening on the very next play, threw the ball over the head of Darnell Mooney out of bounds.
Right.
So he
That's
understands the key in not surrendering yardage on sack plays that make it harder for your kicker or for you for the very next play. Instead of dealing with the 3rd and 5, you take a sack and now you 3rd and 12 or 3rd and 9 or something like that. Not hurting your team that way. Just get rid of the ball. And also it's a measurement
all you have to do.
Where to protect yourself. Marley Mall says Brandon Staley turned this defense around. We're going to do a recap on all this tomorrow on our Monday stream. We'll have a full season recap about the Saints going forward, a little span, and then we'll, of course, down the line, we'll talk about, in that same week, we'll talk about drafting and all that kind of stuff and positions that we need to look at. We'll break it down show by show next week. But Pops, talk about Brandon Staley's defensive impact. We didn't see it early on, but boy, did it come around later on in the year when it started. He started figuring out his personnel. Staley's impact. What do you think about it?
Big. It's been his play has been huge. It's just big. It's just big plays. The defense constantly made as Young. That kid constantly made big plays. He was harassing the quarterback all day long. Didn't give him much time to throw the ball, And he wouldn't let the Atlanta quarterback stay in that pocket long. A couple of times when he stayed in there too long, and the Saints had opportunities, but you have to make sure you hold your water, hold your position, make sure you one up on those guys and stay on them. And then when they throw the ball at you, you're there to make the play on it. You got to intercept it or deflect it and knock it down, like was done a few times in the game. That defense is playing very, very well, very outstanding. They're shutting the running game. I mean, anytime you shut a runner like Bijan Robinson, that man's got almost 2,000 yards rushing. I don't know how many he's got for the season, but he's got a ton of yards for the season. And then Atlanta's winning streak, he's been running for big yards. I think the last game he ran for 229 yards or 39 yards against somebody they played. So I mean that's encouraging to me. I think Brandon Staley is a hell of a coach because you can see the improvement in this defense all the way up until this last game. If our offense could have put a couple more points on the board, we got one touchdown taken away from us, and then we threw an interception on the other. So if we have those touchdowns, we'd have beat them. And like I say, that Falcons Stadium is a home like a home away from home for the Saints. They play excellent team ball in that dome that Atlanta plays in. So it's almost like a home game. So we can, like I said, it's going to be very interesting. I'm encouraged by the preparation that this defensive staff and Coach Staley has done for this team, and you see it on the field. They're running to the football, they tackling much better. The biggest problem we had with them last year, they couldn't tackle anybody. Guys were getting tackled, getting to the people, they spin it out to tackle. You don't see much of that no more, do you? Because Coach Staley have gotten to them and they look, here's what y'all need to do. You got to make sure you complete and finish your tackle. Hold the player right there until you get help. You can just slow him down till you get some help. And that's what they've been doing. They've been helping each other.
Yeah, that's true, Pops. Good analysis, because also another thing that Chase Young was talking about at the presser about getting better and improving his body, learning from Demario Davis and Cam Jordan. What greater influences to have. These guys are the model of what you would consider longevity, especially Demario Davis. So whatever secrets he utilized, and obviously Chase Young has used them because look, he's stellar. I mean, he had a stellar end of the season, 10 sacks. He missed a month worth of football. I think it was 4 or 5 games he missed and still put up 10 sacks in the season, which was phenomenal. You know, for him. And also the fact that the Saints solved a major issue, meaning the gap discipline, allowing people, when they're blitzing, the Saints, allowing people to lose. They're losing containment on the and that's something Chase Young struggled with early and, when he got back into the season. But toward the back end, he kind of learned the importance of gap discipline. Blitzing, rushing the passer, but maintaining the principle of not allowing it to get too wide where guys could leak out and run away and spoil the play. Right. They did it. They really synced in and did a wonderful job. And like you mentioned, also the fact that they did a solid job in tackling too, because they was missing a lot of tackles early.
Yeah,
on.
that was
Shout
one
out
of the
to
biggest
Infinity
problems.
2073. Great game. I'm encouraged about next season. Thank you.
Thank you.
I am too.
Very much. Picking
Very
me up, bringing me back to this world.
Go ahead, Pops. You was going to say your thought.
Well, I was just saying, they compress the pocket, not the pocket, but the running lanes, and there's always somebody there. Just like when they were trying to run Bijan, always somebody was there. They had run support. So if somebody missed, there was somebody right there in the hole, or somebody would come up out the secondary to stop him, keep him from picking up big yardage. And this is I'm encouraged about that, because we're gonna face probably some of the best runners in the NFL coming up this next season. So we got to be ready. And I'm telling you one thing, I'm looking forward to it. I'm encouraged like everybody else. I'm looking forward to see these this New Orleans Saints when they fire up next year.
All right. Well said, Pops. Well, that's going to cut it for this show here, fam. Listen, man, we appreciate y'all for joining the stream. This is the season finale, Week 18 matchup. Saints edged by Falcons 19-17. We finished the year at 7-11. It's been a phenomenal year yet again. Sports Coma, a decade plus strong in the game. I'm gonna pivot to, of course, the Pelicans play tonight against the Miami Heat in about less than a half an hour. I'm gonna pivot to the Pelican post-game report tonight for our Pelican people. Know that we will be open up the phone lines tonight for PPR, man, for people to chime in after the game is over with. Get your word in on that side. You can join us on Pelican Postgame Report. Hit YouTube up, put PPR Pelican Postgame Report, or simply go to the homepage of the Sports Coma, scroll all the way down to our family of channels, and you can find it there and sub up. All right, so anyway, with that being said, shout out to all of the Super Chatters, Cash Appers, and all of the family members for all y'all support, man. We appreciate y'all, man. Another strong year from the Coma and family, man. Doing this thing. We went the whole summation like we've been doing for a while, man. And listen, fam, I will be back on Monday with a seasonal recap of the show. And then, of course, the following week we'll be doing on Patreon, we'll be doing mock drafts and all this kind of stuff. We'll talk about what the Saints need to do in terms of the draft. We'll be looking at the team's positions of need and break down certain players. We'll be looking at different skill groups from running back, wide receivers, tight ends, offensive line, defensive line. Every year we do the same thing. We'll cover it all, man. So shout out to you guys. Appreciate you, man, for all of the fantastic support you guys have been doing. Shout out and double salute to our Patreon and YouTube membership family for all the great support you guys have been doing as well. And listen, fam, we're going to holler at you on the Monday stream and come back with you with some more good stuff. Much love to y'all. Appreciate y'all. Who dat? And we out.
Yeah. Boogie like Vincent, I'm a who dat. I'm a who dat. Long as I'm living, I'm a who dat. Lose or winning, I'm a who dat. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Vincent, I'm a who dat. I'm a who dat. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your chain for the championship. Fucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, money like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Your black and gold home for the New Orleans Saints.
Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with thewhodatdaily.com. Your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit thewhodatdaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.